So stemming off of the last episode, which you know it got a little bit off the rails. And no, I don't care. 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 Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Or don't. I don't care. You know? But I was telling a story about how I was doing an Uber Eats delivery in downtown St. Paul. I never finished the story, of course. Yeah, there was a cop there was like a cop pulling up behind me, driving his cop car. And I was like, oh shit. No, he's not gonna pull me over. I'm just sitting in my car in front of the apartment building. And I saw him in my rear view mirror. He was in the lane right next to mine. You know, so he was, and there's no place he could have turned left or right. As soon as he got out of my rear view mirror, like, you know how when somebody's driving behind you when you're parked and they're going to the left side of the mirror. They usually are right to your left of the car, like that, like right away, especially if they're in the lane right next to you. He just disappeared. You know what I mean? And I mean disappeared like his car wasn't there. It was in the rearview mirror. And then as soon as it left the rearview mirror, I looked to my left and there was no cop car anywhere. Poof. It's magic, magic, magic. You know? Where did he go? Where does he go? You know what I mean? Where did he go? Or she, I didn't see or whatever the fuck, people are, like, I think a seahorse switches, it's like the male switches into a female like every other night or some shit. It's kind of what's going on in the world in terms of, whatever, you know what I mean? The guy just disappeared. His cop car was gone. He was gone. And like I said, there's nowhere that motherfucker could have turned. There wasn't an alley, because I was in the middle of the fucking block. The middle of the block. Jesus Christ. And, yeah. You know what you get the thing. You know the thing. I honestly feel like people aren't quite aware of it's mind-boggling. There's this fucking big-ass tall building right downtown St. Paul. I mean, it's probably, whatever, like a mile from where the cop car just poof. Not the only car I've seen just disappear into thin air. Like, they just disappear. Where do they go? Can you imagine Can you imagine driving on the road, and then you're not on the road, you're not in your car, you're not anywhere. That'd be kind of cool, actually. But there's this tall-ass building right on the river. Apparently it's connected to this bar. It's a pretty tall building. It says municipal elevator on the side. Now, I'm not retarded. I know what St. Paul looks like. You know what I mean? I know what the buildings look. This looks like a weird dungeon castle kind of, not a castle, but it looks like a building that don't belong there, like at all. And I know this because it didn't belong there like just a couple days prior. It's a big building. It's all like cement and fucking whatever it is. Who gives a shit? Anyways, it's such a weird looking building, and it's shaped really weird, and there's like walkways going up on the side of the building that lead nowhere. And they're just broken, like one of them's hanging off the side. There's no doors for the walkways lead to. They're just, and there never was a door. One reason why there was never a door, because the building's been there for 2 days. And there's no signs of there ever being a door there. So right down the river, there's a power plant, like a big building. Probably like over 500 people work there. Maybe, I don't know. That never used to be there. Never. Ever. And I'm sure some of you are thinking, I know that building. It's been there ever since I was a kid. No, it hasn't. Where did that thought, where did that idea that you're having come from? Because I brought it up to a couple of my buddies, and instantly they were like, oh yeah, no, that's been there all my life. The elevator building that's been on the river for all of his life. He's like 30. No, it hasn't. I mean, I hate to be like the only person in the metropolitan area that notices when buildings just pop up overnight. There's one in Cottage Grove that probably over 1,000 people work there. There's over 1,000 cars in the parking lot all hours of the day. It's right down the fucking freeway. Right by the building that has like over 200 school buses. That never used to be there either. So, but this is the thing. There was no construction for any of these buildings. They just poof overnight, essentially overnight. And nobody's really none the wiser. Nobody really notices or says anything or talks about it. So you can see why I'm like, why I feel like I'm the only sane one walking around here. I swear to God. I'm sure people who are going to hear this, they're all going to ask everybody and whatever. Nope, you're all lying. You're all being fed lies. I showed a picture to my dad that has been at our cabin for probably 20 years. Now, here's the thing. This picture was taken when I was like 5 years old. Maybe 6 at the most. It's with me and my sister and my stepmom. My sister's a year younger than me, a year and a day. Ty. It was just me, my stepmom, and my sister. My stepsister, but whatever. She's my sister. And we're in front of this like waterfall. I can't remember what waterfall. It doesn't matter. Fucking who cares? So it's just us three. That's what the picture has been. Showing my entire life. I remember because I remember seeing it as a child, and I remember being there. And I also remember my dad took the picture, obviously. And if I'm 6 years old, tell me how the fuck my little brother is in the picture now all of a sudden when he never used to be. He's got a bigger head than me. And he looks like he's 2 years younger than me when he's actually 6 years younger than me. I was about 6 at the time, so he'd be 0 years old. Or he might have actually just been born. He had a bigger head than me. This is not a picture on a phone. This is whatever the fuck they're called. You know what? A fucking photograph. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? He was, I don't even think he was alive, or he might have just been born, because I don't think Krista was pregnant, no. So I showed the picture to my dad, who took the picture. I swear to God. I have no reason to lie about any of this. And no, it's not the drugs, folks. The drugs are what keep me from being one of them. Because it helps me, actually it helps me stay sane and not blow my brain matter all over the fucking ceiling. Which, at this point, so he took the picture when I was 6. My little brother is 6 years younger. He's in the picture. He got a bigger head. My dad just kind of like shrugged it off. He's like, no, yeah, that's pretty much, I think that's what the picture has always looked like. Yeah. So there's probably over 300 things like this. I got them all listed. So when I was a little kid, I was about 8 years old, which would be 17 years ago. My mom had this girlfriend. I'm not going to name her. And she had 2 sons, just like a couple years apart. One of them was 1 year older than me. The other one was 3. Fat motherfuckers. They lived in this really nice house. We'd go there like every weekend. It was really fucking dope. The two sons would just beat the shit out of each other all the time. Like, really bad. It's kind of funny. One time they got into a fight and the one brother threw the TV remote at the dude's head, the other one. I think the TV remote broke from doming this kid, which they're both older than me. And when I say fat, you know what I mean? They're not losing the hot dog eating competition, if you catch my drift. But now they're skinny as fuck. I saw them on, more recent pictures and videos of their Facebooks. They look skinnier than me almost. I'm not even fucking joking. They were fat motherfuckers. Like really fat. Not, whatever. Now they're like Auschwitz. And me and the one that's 1 year older than me. Every time I'd go over there, we loved to play video games. The original Xbox. Our favorite games was Halo 1, 2, and eventually Halo 3. Now, we'd stay up all night and beat the campaign every single level on legendary difficulty, of course. Which is, it's kind of, to do it overnight, all in one night, there's at least 10 campaign levels, anywhere from 10 to 15. I think there's 12 in the second one, 15 in the third one. And I don't know if anybody is familiar with Halo. Halo, it's a pretty good game. It's a good game. Real good. The Master Chief is the main character. He's a Spartan. It's probably, overall, over the course of my entire life, it's probably in my top 2 favorite games or game franchises. Because it's just so much fun to kill aliens. And it's just good. It's good. It's real good. He's the Master Chief. Back when my neighbor got mad at me or whatever, who I know isn't actually mad at me. Well, he might have been back then, but that's only because my worry provoked it. Now that I don't worry about that or anything, really, all of that shit has just gone away. Coincidence, huh? So he would fucking yell at me or whatever. I thought he would yell at me. Who knows? Who gives a shit? That's besides the point. As a joke, I didn't even, think of anything related to Halo whenever until just yesterday. I would call my neighbor Master because he'd literally tell me to go to bed and get to work. My dad never even did that shit, bro. My dad didn't give a fuck how late I stayed up, what I did. Well, for the most part, in terms of having free will. And yeah, he would just kind of tell me what the fuck to do, like weird. Like, dude, I'm into women. Some of them, some of them run their yap a little bit too much, and about stupid shit. Squawk, squawk. Anyways, as a joke, I would call him Master because I thought it was funny. It was funny. Yes, yes, Master, yes. What would you like me to do next, Master? My neighbor's mother is native. I don't know if you guys know anything about like the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like the chief. I'll look it up. The chief of a yeah. I don't want to give out any wrong definitions there, but I'd call him. I didn't even really. I'm not even joking. I figured this out yesterday. The Master Chief. And Halo is pretty much centered around this game, where there's this huge ring. It's like a circle, like a in space, but it's got land on it on the inside of the ring, and it goes all the way around. It's supposed to be used as a weapon, which, I don't remember the campaign that well, so I'm gonna have to re-educate myself on all of that. Destiny 2 specifically. There's 3 characters in Destiny, and I'll get into those later. My favorite one is the Warlock, simply because it's the best one out of the 3. The other 2 are fucking shit. Their exotics are shit. They're just not good. Warlock is by far the best. Its exotics actually like do something worth an exotic piece of armor. So the Warlock Universal Ornament, which is like the Hunter has like a cape, the Titan has like this weird fucking like thing on the side of its fucking dude, whatever happened to like America? God help us. And he ain't gonna help, folks. Or maybe he will. You know what I mean? He's kind of a dickhead. So the Titan's got the weird like cloth on its side. The Hunter has the cape. The Warlock has a Warlock bond, which is just like this thing that goes around. It goes around its left arm, closer to the shoulder, about halfway up from the elbow to the shoulder. Now, my favorite Warlock bond for years, and I never even, the only reason it's my favorite one is because it looks cool and it's like simple. It's just a ring that goes around the arm. It doesn't touch the arm or anything. It's just a circle around the arm. The Master Chief. My 2 neighbors. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, this guy has lost his fucking mind. Oh boy. You remember, I don't know if you listened to the first episode. You probably should. I think I ask myself, how many times can things like that happen in your life to where you literally stop? You literally cannot say it's a coincidence anymore, like ever. Enough is enough, right? Like, I don't know. When it's just like beaten into your head over and over and over and over and over, like that. Andover, Minnesota, my hometown. And I get what you're saying. Oh, he's just like the Andover. Andover came before him. Yeah. This is where the future timeline theory kind of might have a little bit of a factor, huh? It's not that hard of a concept to grasp, ladies and gentlemen. You just need to open your minds and literally just think about your life. And just start writing, really. Like with a pen and paper. It's better for memory retention. That's what I would recommend. But, yeah. I don't really, I'm just telling you how it is, you know? I'm just telling you the facts that I know. Literally just facts. You know? Some people don't like the truth or whatever. And some people do. It's not really like one or the other, or black or white. You know what I mean? It's not like just because somebody is like a comedian or somebody is like a journalist, it's kind of two opposite ends of the career spectrum in terms of the kind of information that they're either intaking or putting out into the world. But this black and white thinking, I know, oh yeah, that's the joke. Yeah. Where'd you get that idea from? I honestly think I could focus a lot better if I got some sleep. It's hard for me to sleep without my prescriptions. And it's a bit of a fog rolling through the town right now of my brain. And that's why I seem a bit slow. Or maybe because my brain has been melted and I have like 7 personalities now, or my brain has been split, which is kind of cool. You want to know why? You want to have one boring fucking personality that nobody gives a shit about? Nobody is interested in at all. At least I'm like, not that. Dude, can you imagine just having one fucking shit personality? Holy Martha. I would have been dead years ago. You know, and I also, yeah, dreaming, baby. You know? So when I just bring up things like that, like the Master Chief, The first one came out like 18 years ago. I just figured out the connection yesterday. March 6th, 2024. And guess who doesn't give a fuck who hears me at all? Because I'm recording a podcast that I'm putting online. Yeah, that would be me. I don't even like hearing, but it's, whatever. It's a free country. Before, like 2 years ago and 3 months ago, I never once heard any of my neighbors talking, ever. Not once. Never. Not one time. And I've lived here for 6 years. Not one word. Can you believe that? I can, because I remember it. I remember not hearing, except for when somebody's in the entryway, and they're talking very loud or screaming because the air vents are connected and voice travels through there. Which you can tell when it's coming from the vent. It's literally coming from above you. And it like kind of, you can like hear the voice, the vocals like bouncing off of the fucking vents in there, like the metal. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm getting tired. That's what happens when you get clean off of drugs, everybody. Just for today, one day at a time. What else did they say? Oh yes, the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity, which is peace, really. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Arigato. Peace. Oh, yes. Very good. Very, very good. Not the best Japanese accent right there. So, yeah, that's just little tease. Oh, since we're talking about Halo and Destiny, the main company that makes Destiny actually was one of the two companies that made Halo. And the three main characters in Destiny, since the first one came out 10 years ago, when I was 15. The three characters are Warlock, Titan, Hunter. So a while ago, when all of this shit started, when I started noticing this stuff, I looked up psychological warfare, and this website came up, and I clicked on it, and I realized, oh, they got a lot of nice war strategy and tactics and all that kind of like articles, like up the ass. The website is filled with great war strategy reading material that dates all the way back to the 40s. because the company started in 1942. Psychological warfare, which is, you know, hey, what can you do? Well, you can, yeah, try to like stop it, reverse it, or like, the dream, it's mine. Yeah. You betcha. And if those options don't work, whatever variation of those options that you choose, there's multiple ways you can try to, think your way out of something, which this is why I say God is kind of a dickhead. He's a douchebag, a fucking piece of shit. And I get it, he probably wants me to just kill myself or whatever, so I wake up. But he's retarded. He's retarded too. But also, I think he's not retarded at all. I think if and when I wake up, I want to be perfectly fine. Yeah. Yes. Here's the thing. Psychological warfare. Warlock. Tight. Like 6 months ago, I was texting a couple buddies of mine, and I said, we were talking about wars, all the good ones, all the bad ones, all the fun ones. And I said, war is tight. War is tight. Now it's like a slang term for dope or sick when I was growing up. War is tight. Warlock tight. And hunt ER. Emergency room. Hunt means to, like, if you're a rapist or a pedophile, you hunt for, your victim. If you're a drug addict, you hunt for your, like in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they literally hunt Cricket, the homeless guy in the show. They pretend like he's a deer, and they hunt him. Hunt ER. That means essentially find the nearest ER. Because if you think about it, I mean, I only really made this connection maybe at the most a couple months ago, maybe. No more than 2 months. But I realized, oh shit, yeah, it wasn't even 2 months. No way. I don't know, time's a bit weird. It's very distorted. I wonder why that is. I wonder why time is moving so much faster over the last 12 months, pretty much. Like, it's crazy. Today, it actually slowed down a bit. I noticed. It's kind of obvious when time is moving like a third, like 33% faster than usual. That means that 60 minutes would actually be 40. It's kind of like obvious. Nobody notices. Nobody really. What do you want me to say? That they notice it when I notice that none of them notice it? Anything? You know? I'm just observing and taking mental notes. Yeah. It's kind of. People think I'm insane. Oh boy. People think I'm insane. Do you people not notice that there's like 500%, 5 times as many trees all over the place, everywhere in the Twin Cities, Minnesota, everywhere? They're everywhere. Trees that never used to exist, like big trees, everywhere. You notice them more in the fall and the summer when the leaves are on the trees. Trust me, I did. Because just, I mean, everywhere. Does nobody notice any of this shit? Are you just all like, holy shit, man? Twilight Zone is, like, putting it mildly. And we're not even 10% done explaining everything, talking about everything. Not even 10%. Yeah, folks. Strap in, buckle up. And for all the, like, the 3 people who are going to listen to this, after you listen to it, what even happens then? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to think, like, one, is anybody even going to listen? Because probably not. 2, will anybody even be able to, like, muster up, like, an original thought about something? And yeah, based on the future timeline, this is why all of this happened. No, because I said all this. No, I'm saying all this because I notice it happening. This is a big difference. I'm only pointing out what I notice over and over and over and over and over Minnesota. Back to the website about psychological warfare. War, Loctite, and Hunter. War, Lock, Titan, Hunter. The website, it's called rand.org. Rand. RAND. .org. ORG. It's been like a business, or I don't even know what they're considered. Like war tactic, strategic operations. My dad's cabin, it's on Round Lake up in Randall, Minnesota. RANDALL, Minnesota. Look it up. Rand.org. Randall, Minnesota. Over and over and over and over and over again. And no, I wasn't actively thinking about any of these things when I started saying them or because a lot of these things have been part of my life for most of my life, especially Randall and Andover, Minnesota. Who the fuck names a town Andover? Apparently it was called, this is like common knowledge, I guess, in the town of Andover. It got its name because of all the hills in Andover, Minnesota. They go Andover, 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 because there's so many hills in Andover, Minnesota. It's a flat fucking city. There's no hills anywhere. What are we talking about? There's one decent hill. I don't even think that's in Andover. I think that's in Coon Rapids. No, it's in Andover. There's one. It's like it's a hill. There's no other hills around it anywhere at all. There's no hills in Andover besides that one. But hey, the city got its name because the hills go and over and over and over again, over and over and over. That's why Andover is called that. Yeah. You think like one of the adults in the city, there's 30,000 people living there, probably more now. You think one adult would be like, what? There's one single hill in Andover. No. It's like common knowledge. It's like a fucking statement of pride. Like, what the fuck are you people talking about? There's one hill. Yeah, there's maybe another. That's not even a hill. Like it is, but it's not. Over at Shadowbrook. Shadowbrook. Which is where there's a couple football fields there. A hill. Which is nothing compared to the other hill. So there's two hills in the entire city. So, yeah. I'm just thinking about life. Yeah. What can you do? Well, you can try to bring it up to your family and friends, and they'll all just call you crazy. Because that's what they've done. This is not me, like, making the world and reality the way it is before it even happens. No, I'm just... It's literally what happens, like, every time. That's what happens. It doesn't matter what I think or what I say or what I do or what I expect to happen or don't expect to happen. You know, this is what I mean by letting a motherfucker dream in his own dream. Which not only do I expect other people to do if they were in a dream, but I would actually like murder anybody who thought otherwise for them in their dream. Because it's their dream, you know? the least they can do is like a couple of things that they want. Like in terms of dreaming, you understand, do some research on coma dreams, folks. Some pretty wild shit. And oh yeah, I know, I've already thought about all this, but it's literally the only research and evidence that you can base anything off of on the internet. Oh, Hayden, if what you think is true about coma dream, wouldn't that mean that all of history and all of the internet and all of articles are actually made by you? Well, first of all, it's not me, retards. I think I've proven that with the whole let a motherfucker dream thing. Have a dream. And God is a piece of shit and weak and a pussy. At this point, he is. I get the initial, like, wanting me to whatever, you know. Yeah, did I disprove hell, heaven, and purgatory? Yes, I did. That's right. If you didn't watch that episode, it ain't heaven because it kind of is psychologically torturing. It ain't hell because it's also somewhat fun if you're into that kind of shit. It ain't purgatory because if God was real, like Jesus is God or whatever, or any God really, that any religion that supports or just mentions purgatory, the belief is that purgatory is a middle fucking waiting room between heaven and hell for people who haven't really been abolished, damned to hell, and for people who haven't been granted, like, they're fucking, yeah, I need to get some sleep. Then I'm going to be more blind, you know? Every time I go to sleep and wake up, it's just worse than the last. So they're not good enough to go into hell. They're not bad enough to go into whatever. The opposite. Who gives a shit? Anyways, so it's, and like purgatory, from my understanding, is it's not supposed to be like super good or super bad, because that would literally shape who you are as a person and change you, like change your behavior and your personality and the way you act and think. So God or the devil isn't going to make purgatory one way or the other. It's going to be kind of like a middle ground, like pretty mundane existence until you either like show that you're a bad person and then you get damned to hell. And this can really go for any, like any religion really, for the afterlife, which I'm not insanely well versed on the other ones, but I know a little bit about them. So it's just supposed to be a middle ground because yeah, we'll get to those later, or we won't, you know. You want to learn how, like, words that are 400 years old, like 70 of them are like weirdly tied to my life? You want to have your perception of reality kind of thrown into a blender, raped, and like just thrown into outer space, just floating amongst the dark matter that is space atmosphere. It's literally what it's called, dark matter. So, and also, if it was purgatory, God or the devil, well, the devil might, but that's the whole point of purgatory. You're not supposed to really, like, be swayed too much one way or the other. So imagine God made somebody or anybody or everybody who are in this theoretical purgatory. God like tricked them on purpose to make them think that they are not in purgatory, but that they are in a coma dream. As time passes, I'd say 99% of people are probably going to commit suicide eventually. Especially if the coma dream shit, like, like your old body is trying to suck yourself up to the other side. It's not like taking out the trash, folks. You know, it's not just sitting here and it happens. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. Do or do not, there is no try. Yeah. What about when doing it doesn't work either? Oh, I should kill myself? That's not an option. Not for me. I'm not a pussy. Not a pussy. Plus, I don't see anything wrong with trusting in myself and my old self in the process of this. Because from all the research I've done, not a single person in a coma dream ever once mentioned them having to kill themselves or even dying to get out. No, they all naturally awoke. No jokes. Guess who doesn't give a single fuck? That would be me. Because when you get down to brass tacks, it's my life. You know, it's not really like all that funny all the time. Especially when it is pretty funny though too. Just how like retarded everything is. I mean, you know what I mean? Because it's so unbelievable that you just have to like be like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Like, man, it's, and at the same time, it just like, I feel like my brain is leaking out of my ears. Yeah. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, purgatory. I mean, just think about it. Put yourself like in a position, like if you, which is it's gonna be easier for you to understand and try to put yourself in that position once I'm done, or whatever. I mean, I genuinely think that 2 people will probably listen. Nobody gives a fuck, and most of them probably already know. And if they don't, like, are you thick in the head? Why do you think all of you are like reading my minds and like you're all kind of like always make weird comments about me in public? And it's like, hey, buddy, I don't care if you go home and kill your wife. Why are you worried about me and my personal life? You know? That's another reason. I'm joking. Of course, I don't want anybody killing anybody's wives. But get a little physical with them. Now that's another story because they wanted equal rights. So, I mean, you get what you ask for. You know how men get in fights all the time? Well, not all the time. You know what I mean. Never hit a woman. But they wanted the equal rights, right? So that would mean, like, getting clocked in the jaw every once in a while. Especially when you deserve it. Just fucking right hooker right in the fucking eye. I mean, if you don't hit your wife, they don't have equal rights, right? Pretty much. No, seriously though, like that's actually, it's a good point. You're not treating your wife equally to man. If you don't beat the shit out of her when she deserves to get the shit beat out of her. Let's beat these bitches. Like, beat the shit out of them. Just kick their ass. Equal rights, which, you know, I don't think should, I don't think that they should be able to vote. Because, I mean, you know, let's be honest. Yeah, I was just thinking about, like, standing in line, trying to vote. And I would probably end up beating my wife at the ballot. Because my littlest sister's name, her nickname is B. Always has been. And my cousin, whose nickname I've, you know, called her for quite some time, Cuz. They're probably like two of my, they are, I don't know why. Who gives a shit? You know? They're probably they are my two favorite family members, if I had to pick. Because that's where the podcast name comes from. Because. And, you know, one of them doesn't talk to me anymore, so that's what this world does, you know? So, yeah. Really slow, fucking mundane episode, much like Purgatory would be. Especially since in Purgatory they would never get the option or even the possibility or the idea of their state of mental and physical being would actually be in a coma dream, because I mean, after a while all these motherfuckers are going to commit suicide and then they go right to hell. So that means 99% of people in Purgatory are going to hell. And apparently, from what I've researched, more Purgatory is like where most people fit in. Nobody's like ever super, super, super amazing good person or the opposite. I mean, obviously there's rapists and murderers and serial killers and molesters, ones that outright like seek that kind of shit. Yeah, I tried to put a stop to them as well. Didn't work. So, and yeah, not me. We all know why though. And based off the future timeline, you always know. Let a motherfucker dream, bitch. And I probably would have woken up like 24 years ago. Or what? Some shit. Oh yeah. This is when they're reeling real bad. They're reaching, grasping for anything to hold on to. All right, folks. I don't know what I'm going to do right now, but I'm not going to do this. Peace.